All right, here goes yogurt take 2. You will need your heavy cream jar. I use 1.5 gallons of raw cow's milk. And then, of course, my handy dandy crock pot. You're going to begin by skimming the cream off of your milk into your heavy cream jar. Go ahead and set your heavy cream aside. Make sure the lids are on tight to your milk jars and give them a good shake. We're going to dump all 3 half-gallon jars of milk into our crock pot and set it on low for 3 hours. At that 3-hour mark, we're going to come by, give her a look, and turn off the crock pot. Leave her to rest for another 2 hours and 45 minutes. After that time has lapsed, we're going to come back to add our yogurt cultures. I will also skim any fat off of the top, but that is completely optional. You're more than welcome to stir it in. Into the crock pot, I'm going to add roughly 2 heaping tablespoons of yogurt from my last batch. I purchased my original yogurt cultures from Positively Probiotic, and I can't recommend them enough. Be sure to give it a really good mix before putting the lid back on your crock pot and covering it with a towel. We're going to keep it covered and incubating in a warm place for at least 12 to 16 hours. I like to start this process first thing in the morning so that I can cover it, incubate it overnight, and it's ready for me the following morning. Once we've completed the incubation period, we're going to go ahead, pull out the crock pot, take the towel off, and give her a look. You'll know that she's done when there's whey present at the top or when it has gelled at the sides. I have both in this batch. I like to use an immersion blender to blend it all together real nicely before I hang it to strain it. You could also blend, put the lid back in, and toss it in the fridge so long as you don't mind a slightly runnier yogurt. Now, there are most definitely fancy tools you can buy to strain yogurt, but I'm not about that life. So I'm going to use a large mixing bowl, a flour sack towel, a rubber band, and a piece of paracord. I'm going to begin by lining my mixing bowl with my flour sack towel. I'm then going to dump all of my yogurt directly into my lined bowl. After doing so, I'm going to collect all of the edges of my flour sack towel, hold them tightly, and band them with my rubber band. I'm going to go ahead and give it a good squeeze. Then I'm going to grab a colander. I'll place the colander on the mixing bowl and place my yogurt on top. This will help me keep good control of my towel while I go to tie my paracord on. Using a colander isn't completely necessary, but I like having it as a backup just in case my rig fails. After securing it to my cabinet, I'm going to leave it alone for anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. The longer you hang it, the more whey will drain. The more whey that drains, the thicker it gets. If you accidentally make it too thick, it's okay. You can always stir more whey back in. After it's hung for a satisfactory amount of time, I go ahead, pull it down, and get ready to pull all of the yogurt off of the walls of my towel. I'm going to place my yogurt towel into a separate bowl in order to do this. I also very much appreciate my 5-year-old's help in this step. She hops up on the counter, holds the towel corners for me, and allows me to scrape all of the yogurt off of the walls of my towel. I like to use a whisk to give everything a good mix before deciding whether or not I'm satisfied with how thick my yogurt is. If it's too thin, you can hang it again for longer in a new towel. If it's too thick, you can add more whey back in and just keep giving it a good mix. Once you're happy with the consistency of your yogurt, you're ready to put it in jars. Be sure to save yourself roughly a 1/4 cup in a mother jar for next time. We have found that 1/4 pint jars are the perfect yogurt size for our household, but that might not be the case for you, and that's okay. I suggest experimenting with different sizes and deciding what you really like that way. And now you have super amazing, super creamy homemade Greek yogurt, and you didn't even have to stand over a stove all day to get it.